Hey everybody, and welcome to our Week 8 Big Brother Canada 3 recap. I am here, as always, with John Richardson to tell you everything and anything that happened in the house, on the outside of the house. Only 2 more weeks left, people. We are down to the wire, and I am so excited to be joined by Slayha herself, Naeha Sareen.
Hi,
So excited. But before you do that, if you want to thumbs up this video and subscribe to us on YouTube, that would be fantastic. Share us on all social media and get Neha out there so she can be on All Stars, people.
We need that.
And you can follow me on Twitter at dgoodyear1975, and I don't know where my overlay went.
I don't know, Dana, but you need to get organized. Hey guys, John Richardson here, excited to talk game with Neha. She was just one of the most popular players on the season. I'm sad she's not in the house, but I'm glad she's on the show. You can follow me at Comedy Jonah everywhere.
Awesome.
Hey, Neha.
Hi.
Where can they find you?
Okay, so I'm on Twitter. My handle is NehaSBBCam3. And also find me on Instagram at Naeha Sareen. So that's my full name. It's NaehaSareen. And then I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook fan page. You can also find me on there. I think it's Naeha Sareen Big Brother Canada 3. If you just search that, I'm sure I'll come up.
Awesome, awesome. So now let's talk about you. How has life been post Big Brother?
It's been crazy. It's been busy. I have a very, very busy life in general. So coming out of the house, I kind of did get back into my regular routine. But it was just crazy the amount of positive response I've gotten from all of my fans. It's unbelievable. So I've just been very, very active on Twitter, social media, that sort of thing, just so I can still stay in your lives and give you my input on what's going on in the game. But it's been an amazing experience. Like, I thought it'd be really, really, really hard coming out of the house, considering, like, I would consider myself one of the biggest fans possible. So it was hard. It is very hard still, the fact that I'm watching the show and I'm not there. But the amount of love that I've received from all of my fans and just the positive responses and how everyone's saying, you should still be in that house, we wish you went back in, we love you, we want to see you again on a future season, like, it makes it so much easier. So it's been fantastic. Like, the positive response has just really, really helped me get through the struggle of not being in the game. So.
Yes, and you had a little bit of downtime too. You had come time to come to terms with it in the sequester house before we shoved you out into the real life. So you.
Yeah.
It's been.
I want to know if there's any new truffle recipes that you've made. I love truffle.
Oh my gosh! Every day there's a new one. Honestly, check out my Instagram, and you will see on Instagram we're at Indulgence Truffles. And that's where our newest stuff is uploaded. We're also redoing our website, much more accessible, and everyone can get access to all truffles. We ship everywhere. I'm shipping out some orders today. A lot of my fans have ordered, which is amazing. Thank you so much. And these truffles are going to be everywhere. So hit us up on Instagram at Indulgence Truffles, and my website is www.truffles.com. Sorry.
I want to place an order, and then you can hand deliver them when I meet you at the finale.
Okay, we can do that. We can make that arrangement.
Perfect.
John's going to be 500 pounds when he leaves from. He's like, oh.
No.
So what was your strategy going into the house? I know you were no showmances, but what were you? Because you were very quiet the first couple of weeks, and then it was you came out of nowhere, and people were like, oh shit.
That's actually not the case. I just think the edit was that way. My strategy going into the house was just build relationships with people, on a personal level. That way we can kind of connect and they won't want to get rid of me. I didn't want to play. A lot of people are saying, oh, you played hard, fast. That's definitely not what I wanted to do. However, I was put in a position where I had to. On the first day was the Veto Competition that I was involved in. And I was put in a position where I had to kind of fight because we didn't want Cindy or Risha to win the veto, obviously, because one of them would come off the block, and then the next person on the block, and it could have been from the remaining house guests. So I was in a position where I had to kind of fight for the veto. They saw I was strong. As soon as the veto was over, someone came up to me and they're like, oh, you're like the Janelle of Canada, or like the Indian Janelle. And I was like, please don't call me that. And then right away, the next thing was Greg was calling me Netta. So right from that first day in the house, any strategy I had of laying low went down the drain. Everyone's like, oh, you kind of played hard, fast, and you should never do that in Big Brother. I know the game. I know how to play the damn game, and I didn't anticipate doing that, but my back was literally against the wall from day one. But what you did see, that attitude, or not attitude, but that personality that you saw, that is me. And I did downplay myself quite a bit. But you know what? That's just what I had to do. I was in a position where I had to fight from day one, and it might have not shown in the first few episodes, but that label was put on me, and that was ultimately, I think, my downfall.
We definitely saw that after the first few shows. You were quite a fighter, Neha.
Yeah.
Yes. I think my favorite thing, and even like the Cafe Press Store has like a shirt with it, when Godfrey was giving his pickup lines, and he's like, peekaboo, and you're like, peekaboo, seriously? That was like my favorite, like.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was hilarious. And
I'm like, came out of my mouth. I was like, are you kidding me?
Like, peekaboo, no thank you. Now, if there was anybody in that house, like, if you had to, like, for, like, your life in that game, start a showmance, was there anybody in that house that you could fathom getting that close to?
Not really. I think if we wanted, like, based on, okay, this is going to be interesting. So based on, not really, just because, but now going back in, maybe I feel like it would have been beneficial for me to get into a showmance, because I probably could have. But based on looks, I'd say, like, I find Zach and Kevin very attractive. But, like, based on personality, I think, like, Godfrey's coming through. He's funny. Like, I enjoy a witty person, but, like, not a whole package for me. Like, I don't know. I didn't see it, but you know what? Whatever. That didn't happen for me. I didn't want to do that, but yeah, I don't know. There was no one that was like, when I got there was no one that I was like, that even entertained the idea of it, because it's just not something that I would want to do.
So is there a chance for you and Godfrey when he gets out? I know you were like, Godfrey, we're going on a date. So
no, maybe I'll ask him to dance. Who knows? We'll see.
I think he has a girlfriend, though. I'm pretty sure he has a girlfriend.
He has a girlfriend. From what I know, Godfrey's a girlfriend, so he has his stuff going on. I know he's not showing up, but like, we'll let them be happy.
Exactly.
Until they break up, and then you can go on a date.
No.
I'm teasing.
So what did you think when you got out of the house and you sat there, you watched the show, and I mean, you were keeping some secrets from the house. You didn't tell them all of what you do in life. What did you think when you heard that, like, Zach is pre-med, and Kevin's a poker player, and Godfrey's a psych major, and Bruno's like a top-rated gamer in the real world? Like, did it blow your mind, the amount of things that people were keeping a secret in that house?
Not really. Like, I think we all knew that Zach was taking like, what he's doing in school right now. He's in science, so he's taking chemistry. So pre-med science is the exact same thing. So that didn't blow my mind at all, because we already knew he was taking chemistry in school. I didn't know that Kevin was a poker player, but honestly, I'm not surprised, because Kevin was the one person I could not read at all in the house. Bruno's game playing, I don't know what that game is, so I don't know. Does a video game, having a knowledge of video game, does it help you in the game of Big Brother? I'm not sure, because I don't know what that game is.
It's a strategy-based game, so it really kind of was.
Strategy-based gaming, that's great, and I see Bruno, like, honestly, Bruno was one of my picks to go far, which he did. In terms of Godfrey, like, I love the fact that he's a psych major and he played that he does not know anything about anything. I love that. That was the one thing where I was like, this is awesome.
It was crazy. Now, this has been a season of insane twists, like, more twists than I think a lot of Big Brothers combined had. So, like, we had, like, the double veto where we lost, like, that, I mean, Bruno didn't use it, but that was where we lost Johnny, and then we had, like, the instant, which we lost you, and then we had Canada evicts Risha, and the triple eviction where we see, like, Kevin go, and then we get the superpower veto from Brittany that takes out Bruno. Like, all of the power players seem to be falling down because of the rocks that Big Brother is throwing into these houses. Like, what's your take on this? Does it ruin the game? Does it help the game? Is it too much, too little?
Uh, so it's Big Brother Canada, and it's known for its twists. This year was an insane amount of twists. It's a love-hate relationship for me because I love this game so much and I respect this game so much that I understand the twist, but at the same time, I was on the brunt end of a twist, I don't like the fact that I didn't get the chance to fight for a veto. I didn't get to campaign. I think I got the rawest deal, literally, in the history of this game. Every other player that's went before, like after me, they played for veto, including Risha. Johnny played for veto. Bruno played for veto. Kevin and Willow played for veto. I never got that chance, so I don't like it, but at the same time, I understand that it kind of does take away from a gamer. Like, for example, so I went out third. Does that mean that I'm not a good player because I went out third? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then there's people in there that I don't think are the best players, and they're still in there. So it's a love-hate. Like, I love this game so much, so I respect the fact that they do these twists. It's entertaining for someone on the outside world to watch, but to go through that, it's hard, and I think that literally we did lose, like, people through two twists. Like, myself, I feel the biggest ones that we lost were myself, Kevin, and Bruno through a twist. Whereas if our games were being played out the way they were, we would still be in that house, and we would be making moves, and you know what I mean? So, and I think that my loss, I think that's where everyone really saw that, because they saw me turn the house the night before, and then they saw the next day, and so they saw that potential that I had, and it wasn't able to follow through, or we couldn't see the end of it, or the potential that there was there, because of the twist took me out. And, you know, maybe I am to fault as well. Like, I shouldn't have been in a position to get nominated. I don't know, but
yes,
it's a love-hate.
What it says. You always have to have your bases covered for when all this stuff happens, but really, week 3, no one's thinking, not even week 3 yet, week 2. Like, no one.
I had a bases covered. It's Kevin. It's Kevin. This guy wasn't playing the game for 2 weeks. If you guys saw, I don't know if you guys saw the live feeds when that night that I turned the house.
Yes.
That was the first time this guy realized what was going on in this game. But it was too late because he made the nominations. But that was the instant where he's like, oh my God, this is what this girl is saying is 100% correct. And he had no freaking clue. So it's painful because I don't think that it's at I don't really think I'm at fault. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. It's tough to
I don't think you're at fault either. I think like that instant happened way earlier in the game than an instant ever happens. Like week 2.5, that doesn't happen. Like Allison's instant eviction was like just before jury, or no, in jury. Like it was just insane.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what went through your head? You're instantly evicted. You see nobody out there on the stage. You're like, oh crap. And then Arissa says, Neha, you could go back in. Like, did you almost rush the stage?
Yeah, and tell us about that challenge as well, because all the guys we talked to said that challenge was not built for a man.
It was not built for 99% of the population. I'll tell you that. So I already knew walking out of the house that I had a chance coming back in, just because when they were showing the votes, like, it didn't make sense to me. That this is not Survivor, and you've never seen that before in Big Brother Canada or Big Brother in general. So right then and there, and even when it was happening in the middle of, like, there's a commercial break, and I told the house guests, I'm like, you guys know that I'm coming back in the house, or there's a chance I'm coming back in the house, because wow, they'll be revealing the votes. So I knew in that sense, even before, like when Arissa told me, I was like, I already know, thanks, but I already know. I mean, it's funny, like I was just like, yeah, I know. So yeah, I already knew that was an option, or that was I had an opportunity. In terms of the competition, man, that was a hard competition. I'm surprised that I was up there for over 90 minutes. I literally, my hand is still numb right here from that competition, the positioning of it. Like, and it's been what has it been, maybe 3-4 weeks now? Yeah, it's been 3 weeks now, and my hand is still numb from that competition. It was tough, and it literally was, I think in one of the interviews someone said it was based on who weighs the least. And I guess Cindy weighs less than me, I don't know. But it was a really, really hard competition. And just seeing how Johnny and Greg went out in 2 minutes, and then Risha went out in 5 minutes, me and Cindy were up there for over 90 minutes. And it was tough. Like, it was neck and neck. There was many times where she was about to fall. And I don't know what happened where I just couldn't hold on. And that's what makes it even harder. I wish I went out in 2 minutes as opposed to going out in 90 minutes and then her dropping 3 seconds after me. Because it's like another 3 seconds I could have lost right now.
Do you think people have underestimated Cindy with an S? I mean, she seems like she's a lot better in challenges, even than I thought. You think she was?
Yeah, I think so. I think that. I think Cindy, even when she first got evicted, she came back and she's like, "Oh, guys, I got booed and stuff." I don't think anyone should get booed, but I think that. And then watching the episode, and some people ask me in my interviews, they're like, "So, like, is she really like that?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's Cindy. Like, you guys see on TV that attitude that she has, that I'm so pretty, blah, blah, blah. That's who she is. However, people can have more than one side to them. So she's also a really nice person. Like, me and her are friends now. So there's different aspects to her, but what you see is what you get with that girl. I think that's maybe what people didn't like, that attitude that she has. But, you know, we got to think that, you know, we all have different angles. We all have other parts of us that we don't always show. And she's a really great person as well. I think she was underestimated because she said, "Damn," and then she comes out and does great in these endurance comps. So yeah, she was definitely underestimated.
Well, exactly. She went in there looking for a BFFN, like a best friend for now. She wasn't in there to make friends. She was in there to make like $100,000. So
yeah,
you know, you're not going to be the nicest person. So like, I think you all are nice. Like, you guys, I've talked to so many of you, like, in interviews and like on these hangouts, and like, you guys have been like the best cast to like get to know and to interact with. So it's been such
pretty too. You guys are all pretty.
A pretty cast. We like to be pretty. But
Naeha, we have a shout out in our chat room from Colleen, and she says, "My niece Erica is here with me watching. She wants to thank Naeha for mailing her a picture and a personal written letter with her shirt order. Is that possible for us to do, because you support anti-bullying? Yay, thumbs up."
Yes, I was actually going to give a shout out to Colleen and Erica. Love you guys so much. Thanks for all the support. Erica, I hope you're doing well. I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to even write to you. You seem like such an amazing girl. I hope that we get to meet one day. And I just hope you're doing well. And stay strong. And you seem like such a great person. And I love you. And I love your Aunt Colleen.
Awesome.
Colleen is like your biggest fan. She's
Thank you.
I was in the audience the week you guys came, like all 5 of you came. It was the week Johnny was evicted.
Right.
The week Johnny was evicted, and she was like, "Oh my God, if you get near Naeha," and I'm like, how am I gonna get near Naeha? They don't let me near Naeha. I gotta rush the stage to get near Naeha, but if I get near her, I will give her a hug for you.
Anyone can come and give me a hug. I'm always open.
Yeah, she's loved you. I'm like, I've been waiting to do this show, and she's just been like, "When are you gonna get Naeha?" And I'm like, "Give me a minute." Like, so many house guests, so little time. So now all these house guests are like coming out of the house like woodwork, and like everyone is saying, "Who did you want to work with? Who should you have worked with?" And every single one of them has said, "I should have worked with Naeha." How does it feel? Like, why didn't you see this in the house? Like, why didn't you see this when I was there?
I know, that's something that's also very bittersweet for me, because literally, and I've been watching the Google Hangouts, and every single one has said, "I should have worked with Naeha. Naeha's the smartest player. Naeha would have won this game." So that's what hurts me so much, because it's like, I feel like I could have won this game. It sucks. I'm happy. Like, I'm so humbled by it, and I'm so grateful that they feel that way. But at the same time, like, I'm so hurt, because it's like, I'm sitting at home right now, and I'm not winning the game. When I definitely saw the potential there. But I'm happy that people see the potential. That makes it, you know, at least they're not saying, "Oh, she was a shitty player, so she went out." You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm very happy that they feel that way.
Is it an easier pill to swallow knowing that you're out there because they feared you, and not because they just disliked you?
I mean, it's so much easier for me to go out the way I did I feel like I went out on a high, and I went out on a place where no one knows my real potential. Like, you guys didn't get to see it. Where that unknown is still out there, and people want to see that, which is nice. And I'm happy that I didn't go out making a huge blunder. Like, for example, JP. He's in this. We went out on a low. Like, you made a big mistake, bro. And
Bobby too. Same mistake.
Sorry?
Bobby made the same mistake. Volunteers.
And honestly, so seeing what happened with Bobby, I think that's so much worse than what JP did. I understand JP's a super fan and he did it, but you're doing the exact. You saw what happened to this boy, and you're gonna do the exact same thing. What are you doing? What are you doing? So that hurts me too because like I feel like I would never make a mistake like that, and then I just got to make it to play. So it's nice. I love hearing these guys want to play with me, and they wish, and I love the fact that in the short time that I was there, every single person saw my potential in that house, and they all are like, this girl would have won the game. This girl was the best player. They said it to me when I was evicted. And they're still saying it now after living in the house for 30 more days than me. They're still saying that. Like, that shows a lot, and I'm very, very grateful, and I'm very, very humbled by the fact that they actually makes me feel really good. And it does. It hurts, but at the same time, it helps, and it feels good.
Exactly. And I was like, when you went up on the block, I was like, Naeha can't go anywhere. There's no way they will evict her because you cooked their slop. I'm like, if there's somebody in that house that can make slop edible for me, they're going nowhere. Like, absolutely nowhere. If you can cook slop,
I think it's a skill. That's a skill.
if you can keep me alive, then you're going to stay in the house.
Twitter somewhere, someone was like, oh, or someone said it, or maybe it was Bobby who said it, she's cooking slop so she can stay in this house. No. I don't need to cook slop to stay in the house. I have an actual game, thank you. I don't know if it was Bobby. Don't quote me on that. But if it was Bobby, no, I had a game. But you know what? We saw it this whole season. Everyone who sat beside B left the house. There was no way. They saw her as the ultimate pawn who didn't move in that game. And every single one of us went sitting beside B. So
Brittany's moves like stunned you, or did you see that potential in Brittany to be?
To be honest, I did not see the potential in her at all. At all.
Yeah,
she was my number two. It was me, Sarah, and her from day one. We were together. We were like, we are the fembots. We felt that we weren't the popular girls. Like, we weren't gonna fit in with the popular girls. I don't know. We saw it as like Willow, Ashley, and Pilar were gonna be the cool girls in the house, and we weren't that. That's the perception everyone else got. But we were gonna be the girls that, you know, that pine over all these guys and that are going to be in the popular crew. So we got to stick together, and that's what we did. Like, and I didn't see the potential in B the first couple weeks. And I think even after I left, Sarah even said, hey, I'm carrying this girl in the game. Because I think B didn't really have a very much of an understanding of the game, but now she was in positions where she was seen as a pawn and she had to fight, and then she's given this power. And she has, and I think still it's very unfortunate that people on Twitter, on the outside world, are not giving her the credit where her credit is due. And that's very unfortunate because, you know, people, on one hand, people are saying, oh, you know, these twists are, a lot of people on Twitter have said, okay, some people are saying, oh, hey, we hate the twists. And then there's people that are saying, oh, we like the twist. But then at the same time, they're saying, well, B's only there because of a twist. Well, which one is it? Which one do you like? Do you not like the twist, or do you like the twist? So don't her abilities because she got this through a twist. Give her the credit that she deserves. And I think she's very, very deserving, and I don't know why people don't see that right now.
And she's made it through. Like, I mean, she's been given a lot of power, but she's also made it through when power wasn't hers. So,
and the fans put her in, you know, the have-not room too. So she's doing great because the fans love her too, right?
Like, and people realize this is not just a game of in the house; it's a game of outside the house too.
Yeah.
And yes, you have to connect with everybody that you're working with, but you also have to connect with your audience. And if your audience hates you, then you're never gonna get. And like, people are just complaining that. I know there's a lot of complaints out there that like Sarah is the house guest pet or whatever, or production's pet, because things seem to like kind of fall her way. But
even Willow.
No, but it bothers me because all of this stuff is planned out. Like, this is such a production. Like, they don't just throw in something mid-season and go, oh, we want to save Sarah, so let's throw this in. Or it's time for Sarah to win HOH. Let's throw this competition in. This is all planned out, people. Like, yes, an endurance comp is kind of, like, geared for a smaller person, but it's not geared for Cindy. This competition's not geared for Naeha to win. This one's not geared for you to win. Like, they're set up before you guys are even set up. So 100%. It's just, like, it drives me nuts.
There's such amazing, the people that do Big Brother Canada, they're amazing people. everything's pre-planned. So anyone who's saying that it's like this year should be a full example of proving to you guys that there's no favoritism, because I was the fan favorite. They didn't stop me from going home. I went home, and that was that. I didn't win. I went home. Kevin, fan favorite. Kevin went home. Like, they don't meddle in anything. If you are meant to go home, if your time is done in the game, your time is done. They are not favoring anyone. They are letting it play out, because if they were doing that, then me and Kevin would be in that house right now, right?
And
so,
Bruno would not be sitting on that.
And Bruno would not be sitting
house either.
And then Bruno went. So they're not favoring anyone. They're letting the game play out, and that's what it is. Yeah. So
it's crazy. Twitter is crazy. Like, yeah. I think who was it? No, Arissa said last week when I was at the live show, she's like, Twitter's where self-esteem goes to die. And it's so totally true.
Well, speaking of Twitter, we've got someone, I think you might know him, Naeha, Johnny. Send a shout out to Nene for me. I miss you so much. Slay it, girl. Can't wait to see you in a week.
Exactly. Johnny's coming in a week to stay with me, and then we're going to the finale. Happy Johnny.
I'm hopping a train to Toronto. That's all I'm saying right now. If Johnny and Neha are together, I'm going.
You're going to be out on the streets of Toronto, so
I'm only 40 minutes away.
With us.
I'm coming. Now let's get into this week's episode. We're coming off of a triple eviction. What did you think of B's nominations? Like, first it was like what, Zach, Kevin, and Pilar.
I thought that her initial nominations were perfect, because no one is going to keep Kevin or Zach or Pilar. And then when Bruno used the veto on Zach, I personally thought she should have taken out Ashley instead of Willow, because Willow was on her side. However, I understand her logic in the sense that Willow was a problem for her because she was taking Sarah away, but at the same time, like, I don't think that's a reason enough to take Willow out. But Willow had said that she would have taken out Brittany. So in a sense, Brittany didn't know that, but it made sense for Brittany in a sense. I don't know. I know Brittany's gotten a lot of slack for not taking out Ashley. I personally would have taken out Ashley.
Yeah.
Because Ashley was my vote too.
Why are you keeping Ashley back together? I don't get it, but I understand her logic in a sense.
Well, I mean, she said she couldn't trust Willow. Like, she was back and forth with it, but I definitely agree with you. She should have taken out Ashley, totally.
But one thing in that house is that it's very hard. Like, even me living in that house, I was like, I gotta get out Willow. Like, I don't trust this girl. She was so all over the place that I didn't know if she was being real. And it's still, like, I'm watching her interviews now, and she seems like a different person to me than was in the house. And I don't know. I can't wait to meet her again and, like, sit there and talk. Like, Willow, who are you? I don't know who you are, and I want to know what is the real you. You know what I mean?
I just talked to her like at noon today, and she's so smart. Like, when she's answering my questions, she has such, like, strategy behind what she's thinking, and so I'm like, where were you in the house? Like, it's really bizarre to me. Yeah. And even Bobby had some strategy in his brain. I was like, where did this come from?
Didn't have another secret veto hiding?
Okay.
No, we didn't have a secret veto.
Now, and they've had time to sit down and think about it, so strategy can come out then. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I guess so. I guess so. But, like, I agree too. Ashley should have went on that block.
Yeah, Ashley should have gone on the block, yeah.
Instead of Willow. Because she can not trust Willow, but she trusts Sarah, and Sarah has Willow. So as long as you can trust Sarah to have your back, then Willow will fall in line.
Yeah. For
that week. Maybe take her out this week.
At the same time, they sort of a bit of the storage room talk between Sarah and Brittany. And Sarah didn't push for Willow to stay off the block, and I didn't get that. That was another blunder, I think, on Sarah's part. You know Willow is your number one, and B's your number one. You want them both, because they're both going to fight for you. So when Brittany says to you, I'm going to put Willow, you're not putting up Willow. You say no, and this is why you shouldn't put up Willow. but Sarah was kind of, okay, if you want to do that, you can do that. And that I was kind of like, not good.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Okay, in our chat room, we have a comment from Kat, who says, apparently in an interview today, Willow said that she said about Sarah, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with that girl.
Okay.
David, yeah, lots of things happened in the Big Brother house this season. What do we think of this? I mean, I love it. I want everybody to be happy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think she means as friends. I honestly think she means just as friends. Like, they're going to be best friends forever.
Says, I'm the girl I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. Oh, I don't say that about my friends. I don't say that about Curtis.
I don't think she's saying that about a friend. Wow. My interpretation of that, I think that's a big statement to make, especially knowing that Sarah is in a committed relationship with Scott outside the house, and Willow knows that. I think it's a really big statement to make. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. I think that's kind of, I mean, maybe she's feeling that way, but in a sense, I think that's kind of disrespectful to him to make that statement. To say that you're going to spend the rest of your life with someone when that person is with someone else outside of this house. I think it's a big, big statement to make, and I'm very surprised that she made that statement, to be honest. Maybe she is feeling that way, but I met Scott.
They had a moment in the house, right? And Sarah also participated in that too. And I think kind of maybe that's where it's coming from. But, you know, there was a lot of talk with Willow kind of going in the house, you know, pretty much kind of straight, I guess, and then coming out, you know, very comfortable with her sexuality with women. So, I don't know. Yeah.
I like the fact that she's like, I love that she's learning about herself and she's found that this might be her path or whatnot. But, and a couple of interviews ago, like it wasn't that strong. Like I didn't realize that the love or whatever it was that strong a few interviews ago. So the fact that that's happening now, I don't know. Like I'm very surprised. But for me, it's kind of like I don't know. It's so hard to tell. I guess she is feeling that way, and that's great that she has that feeling towards someone. I mean, and maybe she wants it to be out there, but at the same time, I think she should kind of wait. It comes out because it's not just her and Sarah involved. Like Sarah has a partner, and I don't know. I don't know.
She's also been very open about saying how her relationship with Scott is an open one, and they would never get in the path of like having love. And I can see this being like just a big giant love fest somewhere.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but
that relationship is has
I'm in a close
relationship
myself, just to put it out there, everyone.
But whatever Willow's feeling, I think she's feeling it because it wasn't just like unreciprocated feelings. Like I think Sarah gave back as much as Willow.
But it's a huge statement, I think, because I guess maybe they talked about it. Maybe I really don't know what to say. But I wish everyone all the best. And I hope everything works out for everyone and everyone's happy because
absolutely
they'll work it out. They'll work it out.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it.
Let's get back to the game. The HOH competition, which was bananas. Would you have picked plank, steak, or stockade? I would have picked I'll sit on the bench. I'm telling you right now. I would have sat on the bench.
I would have picked throwing in my hand.
I would have done when they're holding on, like what Sarah was doing.
The steak? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a big hole.
That one for sure.
What would you do, John?
Oh, I would have laid there and been stretched. Big
brother, make it That's probably what that's probably what I would have done too. Other than just go sit on the bench and say I have no taste in hell, just sit over here. But kudos to Ashley for sticking it out. That girl showed.
Good job.
Wow. Unfortunately, her whole HOH, that was all for nothing except for her safety for the week because everything went to hell. So she nominates Sarah and Godfrey. Now, I was a little shocked at the Godfrey nomination. I figured it would have been B going up. I thought she would have tried to split that couple up and get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't know where those. Maybe it was Zach telling her what to do. I don't know. I don't recall in the feeds what happened there. But I know that Godfrey and Zach had a little bit of a spat before that, and then Godfrey went back to him, and they were acting like they were good. But maybe, I don't know, or maybe Ashley promised B that because Yeah, I don't really know because I think Brittany didn't put up Ashley the week before, so it's possibly that Ashley just out of respect did put up B. I don't really know, but we all know that. Yeah, this week Ashley's intention was to take out Sarah. She said that many times.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then Canada votes, and poor Sarah, Sarah and Brittany, like poor Brittany, that girl has been on slop more than any person in Big Brother history. I don't know how she's still alive. I never see her eat.
Dominated, slop, like
I never see her eat. So I just, how is she alive? Like she's gonna look fabulous by the time she's out of this house because she's gonna lose.
I'm gonna be on a slop diet myself. Yeah.
Yeah, real.
But these two have probably the worst mental breakdowns I've seen in Big Brother history. Like those two girls, Big Brother. Like I hope Psych is very present in the Big Brother house. I'm really hoping because these two girls, if there's no Psych, I don't know what they would have done. Like
yeah, I think they're real good right after they found out that it's because we love you guys.
Yes, once they found that out, like, and it was such a moment too. Like you know they're laying in there, and like it looked like they finally had come to terms with it, and then like the lights go, and Brittany's like so dramatic, and then this
oh my god, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Shoots out of the floor, and it's like. Oh!
That was amazing, and I love the fact that it's like, oh, it's so dramatic, and then she puts the blanket back over her head.
So dramatic. So, how would you have killed that math challenge to get back in?
Oh my god, yes, because I had already like started counting everything in the house, including the light bulbs, everything. So I think there would be things that I wouldn't even have to go back and count. You know what I mean? And by the time, if I had more time, like another 4 weeks in the house, I would have known legit every single thing that's in that house. Like the number of, when we walk into the pathway to go into the diary room, every single gear. Like I knew how many big ones there were, how many small ones there were, how many moved. Like I literally, any like code, like it's a very like weird house, and they had like these like little number like barcodes and stuff. I had memorized like all the numbers and letters, and if there's any consistency in terms of the number 16 was very consistent for some. So I had all of that known. So even for me, I think doing that challenge, like I would have to not even probably go into the kitchen and count those light bulbs or count those notches on the door. Like I knew.
I didn't see anybody else doing that this season. Normally, like in the Big Brother US seasons, they're very aware that that's like something that Big Brother throws at them is how many of these. So they're always counting and they're always looking for like patterns and stuff like that. I didn't see anybody doing that this year, so it was really odd to me.
I was doing better. I don't know. I know Sarah was very conscious too. I know Johnny and me were like, even because me and Johnny were close from like the second day, and we were all like, okay, this is missing, and there's this many of these. So we were on it. I know him and I were definitely on it. We were counting everything. So yeah, I think they should have known. But anyways, either way, for them, I think it was like it doesn't matter which one of us get the power.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Sarah gets it, then Brittany's safe, and the only good thing is like Brittany got it in, and then Sarah was already safe from the veto, so it was like that was like a double amazing thing, and like I just when Brittany won that thing, I was like, holy crap! Like, how do you not tell Sarah? Like, how she can't, and she's trying to like. She's like, I got you, and like she's trying to say,
don't worry.
And Sarah's just not buying it. Like, and Sarah's safe, and she's like weeping all over the place. Like, you're safe, girl. Like,
I don't know. I think Sarah's just emotional. She's very emotional. I think that's what it is. She should have known.
And then we get down.
Do you think the house kind of magnifies that kind of stuff with the house guests?
Oh,
like if you're an emotional person, you're going to be 10 times emotional in the house, right?
Can you imagine me in that house, John?
Oh, my gosh, Dana. You drive me nuts outside the house, but I can imagine you in the house.
Well, then.
Oh, no, you didn't. Just kidding.
No. Look what you just did.
We've got... Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Dana. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we get to the live show. We get to eviction night, and like Brittany spent all week testing everybody. And oh my gosh, the Bruno Sarah, the most volatile week between Sarah and Bruno, and it was just so shocking to see calm, cool, collected Bruno get so amped up to Sarah. Like, it was so out of character, and like Twitter like freaking explodes, and I'm like, can we relax? Like, he's been in the house 8 weeks without his children, without his wife. Like, all of his buddies are going home. Of course he's gonna be amped up. Like, he's not gonna hit her. Like, relax. Like,
I think with that, like, I think that only happened because he felt very safe. So it's like he said it himself. He's like, I started feeling safe, and that's when your downfall occurs, right? I think that happens to most people. For example, me, like that instant eviction, like, well, actually that doesn't apply but I felt so safe at that point because I turned the house. But I think that it's an example of the fact that when you feel the safest, it's gonna crumble. And I think he felt safe, so he was able to go at her like that. I mean, it's a game, and I think that like your emotions run wild. This happens. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong because she was on the brunt end of it. She only knows how it feels, but he also, like, you know, it's a game, and I'm surprised we didn't see a lot more than that. Like, if for example, would it be a big deal if Zach did it? Like, is it because Bruno's a father he can't do that? You know what I mean? And in Big Brother, you always see like fights and like people going at each other. We saw none of that. We got none of that this year. So like, you know what I mean? Like, it was I'm just surprised that was the first time I fight on the show.
Right.
Yeah, like it hasn't happened a lot. And like, I don't know, like maybe if Zach had gone after a girl, it probably wouldn't have gone over too well because Zach is such a big guy. Like,
yeah.
You know, like I remember like when Gary yelled at Tala that one time in like season 1, and everybody's like, whoa, like, cause I mean 6'4" Gary and 4'2" Tala, like that looks bad, but I mean, you can't tell me, like, living even with your own family, that you don't blow up at people. Like, I want to kill half my family on a daily basis. So put me in a room with 16 strangers and that I don't even love. Like, it's going to happen.
I think your emotions are mixed too. People respond in different ways. I don't know what is right and what is wrong, but, you know, it didn't go to a point where it was too far. So
no, it didn't. And he apologizes, and I mean, they blow up and they apologize, and they blow up and they hug it out. Like, it's just the inertia of the house and the emotions that ride. Like, it's just, no one's going to hit anybody in this house. Like, people just need to chill out. Yeah. You got cameras watching. No one's going to do anything that is bad or, like, I mean, I think we've all learned from, like, the people that get expelled that you do something bad, you're not going to be in that house anymore.
Right.
So now we get to the vote, and it's like, time to vote, but wait a minute, Brittany.
Yep.
And she, like, boom, drops her bomb, takes herself off the block, and, like, I think we're still picking Peely's mouth off the ground. Like, I've never seen a mouth open so wide. And it was like, I mean, Bruno says himself, he's like, as soon as this happened, Bruno's like, I'm done. Like, there's nothing.
So let's kind of play with this a little bit, because I love this. So if Brittany hadn't saved Godfrey, and he was still on the block with Bruno, who do you think would have gone home, Naeha?
Oh, with Godfrey and Bruno?
Yeah.
Godfrey.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so too, yeah, had she left Godfrey on the block.
Sarah, I'm so happy she took that boy off, because Sarah and Brittany would have voted to keep Godfrey, and Pilar and Zach would have voted to keep Bruno, and Ashley would have broken the tie, and she would have evicted Godfrey like that, no problem.
Oh, yeah, so, without a second.
I'm so happy she took Godfrey off the block. Thank God for that.
Now, when Brittany renommed Zach, and she's like, you're strictly a pawn, like, that to me was like, I would rather work with Bruno was more workable. He's more open to suggestion. Like, Zach is so focused in on, like, his Ashley, like, the diaper alliance, that keeping Zach was stupid, because at least Bruno is willing to work with you. He's worked with you in the past. I think that him and Sarah could have salvaged whatever was going on between them at the time, set it aside, and move forward to get everybody else out. Like, that was where, like, her renom was really, like, I just didn't understand. I was like, this kid needs to go, and it was weird.
I'm with you 100%. I think that she 120 million% should have taken out Zach, because even if Bruno and Sarah had a blow up, Sarah's a logical thinker, and she would be able to get over it, and she would have been able to say, okay, we're me go there. And Brittany, Bruno, I know he's like lying to your face. It's down to the final 6 or 7. Like, you know, like that's what's gonna happen. Like, but why would you keep Zach when you know for 100% he has a showman's in the house? He has an allegiance to someone, or someone else, or even more importantly, someone else has an allegiance to him over you. And that person that has the allegiance to him actually has another little partner on the side, Pilar, who's very, you are able to influence this girl. Therefore, those are 3 people that are together. Whereas Bruno, you can pull him. You know, you keep Bruno, then you say to Bruno, hey, now it's me and you. Me, you, and Sarah. We can go together and we have Godfrey. Let's take out these other girls. You know what I mean? I think that was a mistake. Bruno is someone...
Especially because Godfrey is Bruno's final 2. Like, as long as Godfrey's Team Brittany, then Bruno was going to be Team Brittany because he's going to keep his final 2 intact. Like, it was so bizarre to me.
I'm with you. I really wish that they took out Zach. If Zach made it through this week, if Zach wins the veto this week, Zach should win this. You know, not should, but Zach is very likely to win this game. I don't understand how they didn't take him out. I really don't get that. I think that wasn't. I think that just separates. I shouldn't say that. I think that's like we don't know what Brittany's feeling inside and thinking inside. But that to me is like it shows like where your logic is when thinking about this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a very strategic mind would have taken out Zach. If
Do you think had she been able to talk it out with Sarah, the outcome would have been different? Because I thought at some point they were like, yeah, let's get Zach out, and then like Bruno and Sarah had their final little fight in the have-not room, and that's kind of when Bruno's like coffin kind of got sealed, was like with that final fight.
Yeah.
But had she been able to talk to, like, I think had she been able to talk to at least Sarah about it, then Sarah wouldn't have been so emotional about things, and maybe a lot of the volatility between her and Bruno might not have even happened to begin with.
Yes, it might. You know, what ifs are so. You know, everything's a what if in this game. So yes, I think that could have made a difference. But even if that didn't happen, I still think that you gotta look past what happened with Bruno and Sarah. In fact, if Brittany was really a gamer and really thinking, she should have thought in the sense that, hey, if I keep Bruno, like, yeah, Sarah's my number, but Bruno's going to go after Sarah before he goes after me. So why would you not keep Bruno? Like, why? Like, at the end of the game, you're competing against Sarah too. So if Bruno and Sarah have beef, and it comes down to you, Bruno and Sarah, Bruno's going to keep you over Sarah. So it's kind of good that they had a little bit of beef in the house. So that's where it shows to me that Brittany, like, yeah, she's playing a good game. She's getting, you know, this opportunity, but you got to think it through fully. Because I would have thought of it that way. I would have said, because if it was me and like Sarah was my number 1, but if someone, then that's kind of good for me because they're not fighting for me, so fighting with me. So that makes me higher on their list to keep as opposed to Sarah. So Brittany should have thought of it that way. Either way, with Zach, they're both on his list. They're both not with him. With Bruno, at least you have an up on your own partner. So that's where I think like Brittany messed up in that sense. She should have taken out Zach right away.
I absolutely agree with you.
Box very well.
Yeah.
Like, so then Bruno's evicted, and he talks to. I mean, being in that audience, I was kind of like maybe 3 or 4 seats away from Bruno's family. So watching this go down was like.
Yeah.
But he like. You could tell in the audience it almost took like everything he had to not like superpower like vault over like the floor seats and like into the audience. Yeah. Now Twitter is abuzz because he got to hug his wife. Like I'm like, what is the deal here? She's not talking game to him. It was like 30 seconds. She gave him a hug, gave him a kiss, said I love you, and he went on his way. Like Twitter is just going crazy over this.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it's a tough call, I think, because we really aren't to have any contact with our family members or anyone really, or even like, but at the same time, I think the fear is that, oh, she whispered something to his ear, or she could have said something to him that could influence his jury vote. I think that's what the fear is, and that's what people are saying. I mean, I don't think that she would have done that. I don't think she did that. But
no,
coming from him, like, you know, he's a family man. That's his wife. You know,
yeah.
Not being able to embrace her, it would have been hard, right? But I can see why Twitter's going crazy over it, and I can see why he did that. I think it was just an innate reaction. You know what I mean? He saw her, and it was a reaction. And production wasn't going to come in and grab him.
Yeah, and
away,
Arissa
you know what
said,
I mean?
he asked, he turned and said, can I? And Arissa said, go.
Oh,
like,
I
so. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I I can. It's tough. It's a tough call. I'm in between. But I do understand where people are coming from because it should not. No one in jury should be influenced. But at the same time, I don't know. It's hard to say.
And like the thing is, like what people don't know is like your handlers are like right in that little area where you guys walk off the stage, right? So his handler's like 3 steps away, so nothing's happening. Like, you know, like I think had they thought that something was going to happen, the handler would have just.
Well, everyone in the chat room is exploding. Delta, Colleen, Guest 350, Christina. Zach needs to go for anyone else to win, and they're saying that whoever gets Zach out, we all need to vote for them to win. Do you guys agree?
I think so. I mean, whoever gets out Captain Canada will probably win the game. Unless it's Peeler. Unless it's Peely. If Peely gets rid of Zach, then I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Totally. Okay, that's the deal. That's a good deal.
And I love Peely. I love her to death. Like, she's just such a cute little person, but the game-wise, like, no. She can't do that.
I agree. I don't know. I understand everyone hates Zach. I get it, but in terms of if I'm thinking game-wise, I kind of, like, I don't think he made big moves at all. I think he's gotten very, very lucky in this game that he's been able to slither through. But, I mean, I think maybe he does have some kind of, not skill, but there's a reason why he was able to too. So I kind of, in a sense, kind of respect that. I'm not saying that I want him to win, but I don't to not win. There's still people in that house that I would rather be taken out before him because I feel that he's played more of a game than them, and I respect a gamer.
So I have a hypothetical too. So if Zach is, we're down to the 2. There's Zach. Who else that's left in the house could sit next to him and win the game? Do you think, Neha? So like
Brittany?
if you're sitting, Brittany, very good, yeah.
I think Brittany, Sarah, or Godfrey. I think Brittany, Sarah, or Godfrey, or Zach all. I know the thing is that it's hard because like some people look at competition wins and some people look at.
Well, Godfrey throws competition, so that wouldn't do.
But that's still a strategy, right? Like if you look at last season, the first half of the game netted through competitions, right? Or you know what I mean? And she made it. Like for the first time ever, I watched After Dark the other night, and I also have been watching the feeds a little bit. It's really hard for me to kind of watch at the same time, but I've been watching. He's a smart guy, and he's positioned himself like right now, like he's in a very good position. You know what I mean? Because Zach and his crew are going after Sarah and B before they go for Godfrey, and Godfrey's with Sarah and B. Like Godfrey is sitting in the most pretty position. So I respect the guy's game, and also Godfrey's showing. We didn't see me living with him. I didn't see this light in him. You know what I mean? I feel that Sarah and B have had their backs against the wall all year, and I respect gamers like that where they've had to play. You know, Brittany, yeah, she's been a pawn, but you think it's easy sitting on the block? Like I was sitting on the block for 2 seconds, and I was like not feeling good about it. So I think any 4 of those, if they were to make it down, like in their own way, they each are deserving of the win. And that's what I'm gonna say is, so yeah, like, and because even if you look at Zach's like moves, like, or lack thereof moves, I would say as well, because he, in the history of this game, I think he had one of the worst HOHs. The fact that your #1 ally is gonna go home on your HOH, like, that's something like to say like this guy's doesn't know how to play the game either. You know what I mean? So there's so many different aspects of everyone's games that you have to look at, and then you have to kind of counter in like. What is more important in terms of your desire for a winner? You know what I mean? Because some people throw out the fact that, hey, Brittany and Sarah, they got a lot of luck. They got these twists went their way, this, that, and the other. But it's a part of the game. It's a part of Big Brother Canada. The twists are part of it. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like you got to respect every angle of the game and kind of look at it as a whole. So for me, one of those 4, Brittany, Sarah, Godfrey, and Zach, I think would be a great Final 4 in terms of who is deserving to win the game.
Do you think that this could be the year that breaks the, I guess I'll say the curse of the girls, where we've never had a girl sit beside a boy and win the game. So do you think that this, except for Jillian, because we can't count Jillian because of the Topaz vote, but like, in normal votes, a girl is never one sitting against a guy. So do you think that this could be the year where legitimately a girl wins over, like, can a girl win over Zach, or can a girl win over Godfrey sitting on the block next to those
Yes.
two guys?
You know, that's my absolute #1 stat. When I came into the house, I used that stat and I gave it to Willow first. The reason why I gave that stat to Willow is I saw that Willow was getting close to Zach, and me and Willow were kind of talking on the side, so I wanted to put that in her ear. I said to her, Willow, I'm like, this is a statistic, and I made it apparent to the house guests because I wanted her not to take Zach over me, or I wanted to build a little more allegiance to her so she'd realize that, hey, God is not for your game because you'll never beat him in the end. And then I love how her and Sarah all used it after in the season. But I love that statistic, and I think it would be epic if that happened this year. It would break that whole thing of that, and I really, really hope, and that's what I'm saying. I think Brittany has a chance to beat Zach in the end. I think Sarah has a chance to beat him in the end. It just depends on what the jurors feel, and we don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah. Do you think this jury is shaping up to be like bitter, or do you think like are they gonna be bitter? Are they gonna be emotional, or do you think they're gonna be like logical? And because we got a couple of good gamers in like Kevin and Jordan, and then we got like Bobby.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I really hope that it is all game, but I don't know because I think Kevin would be able to bring it out because even when he came out, he's like, yeah, I want him, but Godfrey's my man, and I respect that. If he can vote Godfrey over his own girlfriend, I love that. DP though, he's a gamer, but at the same time, he's still rooting for Zach, and I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, this is you're rooting for someone who literally had no allegiance to you. And you had so much allegiance to this guy. You put your life in his hands when there was other people that were willing to, like, work with you. And you chose him over other logical people because you saw something in him. And yet this man was the block. I don't understand it. So JP's mind, I don't know. He's such a super fan, but where's your brain right now? I don't know if, just based on what the little bit that they showed, how he's still like, I want Zach to win. Like, but aren't you a gamer? Aren't you a super fan that you appreciate a good gamer? And where has Zach shown, like, you know what I mean? The biggest blunder, I think, was Zach not taking you off the block. So how are you respecting that game? I don't get it.
I'm wondering if Bruno can. I'm wondering if Bruno can shed some light on to like Zach's game for Jordan and maybe I
hope so. I really hope so. I'm surprised that those that came after JP didn't explain it to him. Like, why did Cindy not say to JP, well, Zach could have taken you off the block, JP. Why? You know what I mean? He kind of like wussied out of it, right?
Yeah.
Like he was trying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to see these gamers go lose their minds a little bit. So now we have the HOH competition, which is another bananas one. I don't know. Trevor Board, something happened to him on the off season because he went insane. We got this 100 minutes in hell this competition where they all got to lay in these boxes, and I mean, I kind of know what they got thrown at them because I got to watch a little bit of the competition that night, but I think this competition should have been your competition, Naeha. It should have been the one that the 5 of you used to get back in the house. It's something that it doesn't cater to a certain person as long as you can count.
Height or weight or anything,
You can do this competition. Like this, like the rope one should have been this competition, and then that one should have been yours.
I agree.
But now we can get into some spoilers now. People, close your ears.
Spoilers. Take out your headsets.
Yeah,
spoilers.
I know that they threw, like, mealworms at them. Godfrey's been talking all week about them picking him out of his hair. Ugh. They, like, flooded their coffins with water. Then they blew smoke at them. At one point, Ashley was running from a clown. On the outside, like freaky clowns, and like even like Britt and Sarah were talking about it on the live feeds about how like these clowns, they wouldn't touch them, but they would like come up and be like and like freak them the hell out. And like you see like Godfrey just like trembling because the water's so cold, and like all you can see is like Sarah laying there and just see her mouth moving because she's just counting, and they gotta hit the buzzer before 100 minutes. When they think 100 minutes is
Right.
And the closest under/over wins. Now,
Right.
here's where the spoiler is. Sarah wins HOH.
Right.
Like, I know, John didn't know. John didn't know.
I didn't know.
So Sarah has won HOH, and nominations were this morning, so she has nominated Ashley and Zach, which
Yay! Woo-hoo!
no surprise. But now what's going on in the house is like Peely's like, I can't vote out Zach. I can't vote out Zach. I know I should, but I can't. Like, these two girls' minds boggle me. Is Zach that charming?
If you're one of them, maybe. But if you're a gamer and you understand this game, you're not going to be taking nothing from no one like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
This is why I just said to you, I picked Zach to win this game over Pilar and Ashley. I don't care that he was a snake in this game. These girls, I don't feel, are deserving of the win. If you're going to make statements like that, goodbye. Bye-bye. Do not give Canada a final two of Ashley and Pilar, because that will be flop. Right?
Exactly.
Because if I was the jury, I'd be like, pick a number between 1 and 10. I don't care who wins.
Yeah. Because all Ashley's week, all she kept saying is,
straws.
Zach can't tell me what to do. Zach can't tell me what to do. I'm my own person. I'm going to do what I want. And then she turns around and does exactly what Zach wants.
Yeah.
But then she said that, they aired that, and then what does she do? She puts Sarah and freaking Godfrey on the block, and she does exactly what he wants. So don't act like you're a strong woman when you aren't. I love Ashley, and I think she's smart, but I don't understand why. Like, this is Big Brother.
She didn't even know Toronto was in Ontario,
Okay,
Neha.
she doesn't know
Let's
where she's in
talk.
Canada.
Let's talk. She doesn't even know where she is.
I know. I don't know what to say. But in
Even
terms of
John, who's from Seattle.
Oh, even
Toronto.
Even I know where it is.
in terms of this game, like it's a real. But I can understand the sense that maybe they have some kind of loyalty to them, but like no, in this position, there's still 5-6 people in the house, and you still have a number one who is Ashley Pilar. So yeah, you can take out Zach. It's not like you're taking out Ashley. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I don't get it. But this is the same person that on day 45 or 50, if the feeds are correct, or if Twitter is correct, Pilar asked, what does POV mean? What does POV stand for? And that, if that's true, I don't know if it's true, but people are tweeting that. I'm not sure if that's true. But that, for me, is another reason why that is someone who I would never give $1 to.
Would you sell her a truffle?
She'll take your dollar for the truffles, but you won't give her one.
All right.
Right.
Right. We've got Mr. AJ the artist on Twitter watching our show right now.
Oh, yes, and AJ, he wants to know, who is your favorite artist? Not recording, but like art, because he does some really cool art.
Yes.
Oh my God, do I know him on Twitter?
Maybe.
What's his handle?
At Mr. AJ the artist.
Yep, he's a cutie.
Here, I can show you.
Oh my God, there's so many. I'm
This
into.
guy.
Oh wow! Hello.
All right.
Wow. I think you're my favorite artist, Mr. AJ.
He's
I love
an
to draw too. I know that's so funny because I think a lot of people now have learned a lot about me, so they know I design handbags. I have my own handbag line, and I do a lot of drawing. So I'd love to show him some of my pictures. But oh my God, I don't know. There's so many. I'm really now more into contemporary art. I can't really choose. Like I'm one of those people that like, if someone's like, oh, what do you want to eat for dinner tonight? I'm like, oh, you decide. So that's the same thing. Like, there's so many different amazing artists out there that I really don't have a favorite. But I'm definitely gonna check out your work on Twitter.
Yeah, some pretty cool art you got behind you there.
Sorry?
I like the art you got behind you there on the wall.
Oh, this came from Thailand. I went to Thailand 2 years ago, and I bought that in Bangkok. I'm a big fan of art. My whole condo has like beautiful like carved pieces from Bali and from Bangkok. So yeah, I'm huge into art.
It's beautiful, beautiful. But that's
That's what we got, huh?
that is it. Yeah, that is it. Next week is
Next week
the
is
semi-finale.
The next week is our finale of this show, but then we're live at the finale with Neha and everyone else.
Yeah.
Doing interviews in the house. So exciting. This has been a great season. Neha, any final thoughts you want to tell fans?
Other than the fact that I love them so much.
Good.
I'm just very, very happy to have so much support. Even the fact that I've been out of the house for so long, and still so many people rooting for me and saying that I'm their favorite player and that I should get some prize for being favorite player and all this stuff. It's so amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I couldn't excel further in the game. Like, I'm sad that I've let you guys down.
Now let us know where we can find your truffles, where we can buy your You Can Sit With Us t-shirts that are so popular right now.
Okay, there's so much. So for those of you who don't know, while I was in the house, I wore a shirt that said "You Can Sit With Us." It was kind of a play on that Mean Girls thing, "You cannot sit with us" or "You can't sit with us." It was just kind of something for me to kind of be like, well, everyone's an equal. No one's better than the other. Let's all get along, sort of deal. Not in terms of the game, because you fight in the game and that's cool. Fighting, not bullying, but fighting is okay in the game. Right. But in just the message that I could give across the world to Canada. And I'm so happy that people saw that, because my family started selling shirts saying "You Can Sit With Us," where all of the net proceeds go to bullyingcanada.ca. So we are giving it all to charity. It's a great cause. Please, please, please buy these. Beautiful, they're wonderful, they make a statement, they're speaking out for a cause, for something that is a problem in our society, and people are suffering every single day. So please email teamneha@gmail.com and order your shirts. They come in size small, medium, large, extra large, and 2XL. They're $20 plus $10 shipping in Canada. Please, please, please email us, order the shirts, they're wonderful, again, for a great cause.
Yep, and you can find those details on our site as well.
Yes, so that's the number one thing that I'm pushing, because it's a huge problem. So let's rectify that problem. Next, you guys have seen me on Twitter. I'm a businesswoman. I'm building my empire, and I'm a chiropractor. I have a practice in Brampton, but I'm also an entrepreneur. I have two businesses. One is Indulgence Truffles, where I sell and make luxury, amazing, delicious truffles. You can find my website, www.indulgencetruffles.com. You can find me on Instagram, Truffles, and my Twitter handle is IndulgenceT, @IndulgenceT. I also own a luxury brand of handbags called Donotare. Website is www.donotare.com. That's DANOTARE. You can also find me on Instagram at Donotare and on Twitter @Donotare. And then me, I'm on Twitter, I already said it, I'm at NehaSBBCan3, and my Instagram is Sareen, the spelling of my name is NAEHASAREEN. Please tweet me, please like my pictures or whatever, so I know who you are on Instagram. I don't know how Instagram works, but yeah. So like and tweet.
Your Twitter pictures always make me hungry, so.
I'm so hard to tweet everyone back. It's very, very hard because I get so many tweets, but I'm trying, and I love you all, and I want you guys to all know that. And again, thank you so much for the support. And I'm so sorry. I wish I could have still been in that house so you could see Excel. But we'll see what happens in the future. I'll try to stay in the public eye. I'll stay on Twitter. You guys know what's going on.
There you go. Neha, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. Of course, I'm on the social media as well at Comedy Jonah on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Everyone can find me there, and yay! So fun.
And you can find me at Twitter at DGoodyear1975. And that is our show for today. We will be back next week, Friday at 3. Hopefully we'll have a new friend with us next week, or maybe we can get an old friend to come back. But I'm going to try and talk to Risha this week. Ooh. So we will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.